Ayo, what is up, everybody? Welcome into the Fit CEO podcast by yours truly, Shad Molyneux. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. Episode 2, here we go. And what we're going to be talking about in episode 2 is top 5 lessons that I took away from a business perspective in 2020. And if you missed episode 1, I went over my story in detail on how I got started in online fitness coaching and how that transitioned into creating the Next Level Coaching Academy with Dela. So 2020 was financially the best year of my professional life. It is the first year that my businesses hit the 7-figure mark, and that has been a goal of mine for quite some time. So professionally, 2020 was amazing. I know 2020 in the grand scheme of everything wasn't the best year, but from a professional standpoint, it was a really, really good year for me. And what I did and what I want to talk to you guys about in this podcast is I want to talk to you guys about the five biggest takeaways that I got from 2020 from a professional standpoint. So let's get into it. Break out your notebooks and let's go. So number 1, routine is everything. All right. So much like everybody, 2020 was, flipped on its head in the beginning, right? So January was a really good month. February was a really good month, speaking from a business standpoint. And then March, I was just smacked with fear, right? Lockdown started happening. The world just went to shit. And I was like, holy crap, like this is the end. I was totally nervous. I was like, this may be the end of my businesses. So many people were saying, pull your money from your bank accounts. The banks are going to shut down. And I was completely operating out of fear. All right. So what I actually did is I actually paid for mentorship specifically about how to react due to the new COVID economy. And a lot of you guys know that I'm a big fan of Grant Cardone. That's the mentorship that I paid for. Now, he said something really, really transformative. At the time, I didn't think it meant much, but when I sat down to write down my biggest takeaways from 2020, this is one of the things that I wrote down as probably one of the more pivotal parts of 2020. And what he said on the first group coaching call was, you're going to have to put in 2 times the effort to get the same result, but probably less, right? And everything was chaotic. 2020, right in the beginning, everything was chaotic. And I had the choice. I had the choice to put in double the effort to get the same result or less, or I had the choice to, go with the flow of the chaos, not really take any action and just, get sucked up into the chaos, like I mentioned before. So I chose to listen to the mentor. I chose to put in double the action. But the funny thing is, we didn't get the same result. We didn't get less of a result. We actually got more of a result. And what I doubled down on, yes, I doubled down on the actual business aspect of things, but I really doubled down on my routine. I was going to bed early, before 10 o'clock, probably between 9:30. I was waking up really early as well, anywhere between 5 and 6. And I was like dead on with my routine. I worked out at a specific time. Every morning I went for a walk and listened to a podcast. I crushed work from a work standpoint within my routine, and there was no distractions. There was no distractions at all. You couldn't see friends, right? You couldn't go out to dinners. You couldn't go out to get a drink. There was no distractions. So you're really forced to make a choice to do with your time what you wanted to do with your time, because you didn't have those distractions. So I chose to double down on my routine. I chose to double down on work. And like my mentor said, you're going to have to put in double the work to get the same results or less, right? So because I focused on my routine, because I focused on the systems within my business and getting that organized, and quite honestly, I organized everything, organized the apartment, organized my life. Everything had a structure and everything had a routine to it. And what I realized, because previous to COVID, I was a pretty routine person, but what I realized is, because of COVID, I became 100% a routine person. Like there wasn't like a step missed. And I realized how important your routine actually is to everything, right? Everything. If your routine is good, I've noticed your relationships are good. If your routine is good, your business is good. If your routine is good, your health is good. If your routine is good, your mindset is good. So one of my biggest takeaways from 2020 is routine is everything, right? Because we were forced to get into a really good routine during COVID. and that kind of shed light to me once again that routine is everything. And once you have your routine down, like to a T, not like, oh, I have my routine down, like you have your routine down to a T, life is really going to change for you. Okay, so two, this is my first takeaway. Routine is everything, but I'm gonna tie in that other thing that Grant Cardone mentioned, which is you're gonna have to get double the effort, or you're gonna have to give double the effort to get the same result or less. And tying this in with the routine, really in this point of chaos, right around March, right around the beginning of COVID, you had a choice. You had a choice to double down on your goals and push forward, or you had a choice to, go with the chaos. So that was really a transformative part of 2020. And it led to me focusing on my routine, which led me to realize that your routine is actually really, really important. I knew it was always important, but now I know how important it actually is. All right. So moving on to point number 2. You need great people. 2020 was a massive hiring year for both of my businesses. I think I started the year with less than 5 employees. I'm pretty sure we had less than 5 employees. Now we're over, I don't know the specific number. I believe we're right around 23 employees right now between both companies. So it was a really massive year. Almost, I guess, we almost 5x'd our staff in 2020. And what I realized is you need great people. And funny enough, prior to 2020, I was such a one-man show. I did have people that were helping me out. I did have business coaches, but I relied so heavily on myself to do everything because I didn't trust other people to do other stuff. And I'm an Enneagram type 8. And one of the qualities of Enneagram type 8 is they have a really hard time trusting other people. So for me, offloading the thing that I care about most, or one of the things I care about most, which is business and my passion, right, is really, really hard for me. And it's extra hard because I'm an Enneagram type 8. But what I realized in 2020 is it's necessary. You can't do it on your own. And it's taken me a really long time to actually say this, but you need great people. You need great people. And talking about it from a business standpoint, right? You only have 24 hours. But when you start adding staff members, you have more than 24 hours. And what I mean by that is you have your 24 hours. You have staff member 1's 24 hours, staff member 2's 24 hours, right? And you can create more time as you add more staff members because you're multiplying that 24 hours amongst other staff members, right? So you can get a lot more done, a lot more done in a lot shorter time, and it's a lot more efficient, right? A great example is my closing rate is about 70 to 80%. When I did 100% of the sales calls for the Next Level Coaching Academy for my fitness business, on average, I would close about 70 to 80% of the deals. But the problem is I can only take so many calls. Maybe I could take 5, 6 calls a day, right? If they're 45 1 hour long calls. So once I knew I had to do this. It was hard for me to do it once again because of the trust aspect. But once I started offloading sales calls to other people to take calls, not only did I realize I could double, triple, quadruple the amount of calls that we take, but we're going to get a lot more clients as a result of that. And I wish I did it earlier. I wish I outsourced things earlier. I wish I had more people to do DM outreach earlier. I wish I had more people to take sales calls earlier. I wish I had more people to do the administrative stuff earlier. I wish I had more coaches to take more clients earlier, because the key to scaling, the key to growing, the key to building a message and to building your brand is people. It's not you, it's people. Because you can only do so much, and you can only spread your mission and do your job to your max capacity. And your max capacity isn't enough to actually get the reach that you're looking to get. All right. So point number 2 is you need great people from a staff standpoint and from a friend standpoint. If I did not move down to Austin, I would have not met our Austin crew. I would not have met Dayla in particular. And if I never met Dayla in particular, I would have never started the Next Level Coaching Academy. Maybe I would have started something else, but I wouldn't have never started the Next Level Coaching Academy. Okay. So you need great people from a hiring standpoint and from a friend standpoint in order to actually make things happen. Because once again, it takes people, not just you. And that's a really hard one for me to say. If I created a podcast 2 years ago, I would have said, you just need to work harder. You just need to be more passionate. Now I laugh at that guy. Not only do I laugh at that guy from a result standpoint, but from a mindset standpoint too. Like, come on, bro. You're not that good. All right. Number three. Number three probably came more on the back half of 2020. On the back half of 2020, I know for the people listening, you can't see the actual video, but 2020 was an upward slope. In the first 6 months, we did great, but it really expedited on the last 6 months. And there's a couple reasons to that. But one of the main reasons is I learned how to focus on the fundamentals. And who taught me this is I actually started listening to Alex Hermosi's podcast. It's called The Game, and he owns a business called Gym Launch. He's ridiculous. He makes about 35 million a year. He's an absolute savage. He actually lives here in Austin, Texas as well. I've met him one time. If you're listening, what's up, Alex? But anyways, he is huge on the fundamentals, right? And most coaches, most online coaches, and most entrepreneurs, beyond just online coaches, we have ADD. We have very much so ADD, ADHD, but that's also why we're successful, right? It's why we're successful, but sometimes it's why we get stuck. And let me give you an example, right? Let's say you learn how to do sales. Let's say you learn how to do marketing. Let's say you learn how to deliver to your clients. How many times have you said, oh, I need to change that. I need to change this. I need to do this project. I need to do this. And you're all over the place, right? You're bouncing from one thing to the next. That doesn't get you anywhere. That doesn't get you anywhere. And I used to think I just needed to do more different stuff. I needed to tweak this thing and tweak that thing and break this down to rebuild it. And I just got into this massive trap of ADD and ADHD, more specific to the entrepreneur space. Now, did I get results? Sure. Could I have expedited my results? Abso-freaking-lutely, right? And once I started focusing on the fundamentals and I calmed my entrepreneur ADD brain down when it said, hey, we should start doing this thing because this project seems fun or this idea seems fun, I immediately can recognize it and I say, nope, let's go back to the fundamentals, right? So what are the fundamentals? The fundamentals are lead generation, show up rate, which is getting your leads to actually show up to the call, closing percentage, client delivery, and client re-sign and retention, right? So we track all of the data particular to these fundamentals. I look at the data, I see where the business is going wrong, and then I fix that one particular area. And if we need to add projects to fix that area, great, we will do that. But it's very, very rare that we will work outside of those fundamentals unless it's something that I really think is going to move the business forward. So I've gotten really good at saying no, and I've gotten really, really good at focusing on the fundamentals and not much outside of those fundamentals, right? And if you want to scale, this is also where a lot of entrepreneurs go wrong. If you want to scale, it's doing more of the fundamentals. Let me give you an example. Right? So let's say you do DM outreach to get your leads, right? And you are the one person that's doing DM outreach. You're the one person that's taking calls, and you are the one person that is also delivering to your clients, right? If the fundamentals are sales, lead generation, show up rate, closing rate, client delivery, and client re-sign, you don't want to stray from that. You don't want to stray from that, right? So if it's just you doing everything, and like I said before, it's just doing more of the fundamentals. It goes back to point number 2. You just need more people to operate the fundamentals. You need more people to book calls. You need more people to take the calls, and you need more coaches to deliver and re-sign the clients, right? So when you're trying to scale a business, it's identifying the fundamentals and then doing more of the fundamentals by adding more people to operate more of those fundamentals. All right. So number 3 thing I learned in 2020 from a business aspect is focusing on the fundamentals and just doing more of the fundamentals as you're scaling up, right? Keep it simple. Okay. So number 3 and number 4 kind of coincide. Number 4 is the power of one. And 2020 really taught me once again how to focus. It taught me how to focus on my routine, taught me to focus on the fundamentals, and it taught me to focus on one particular thing. And that's the power of one. All right. So within the first, I would say about 9 months of 2020, I was doing everything. I was doing everything, meaning, and what I mean by that is I was doing one-to-one business coaching. I started the Next Level Coaching Academy. I was running my online fitness coaching business. I was doing other little things on the side, like, randomly training teams, DM outreach teams, or training people's closing teams or sales teams, right? And I was doing all these things because I was like, I'm just going to do more and more and more. And that's how I'm going to hit 7 figures. A funny thing happened in quarter four. So in quarter four, which is October, November, and December, I offloaded all of my one-to-one business clients with the exception of like one. I had like one business client left. I basically took my fitness business, and PJ, our operations manager, basically runs that business. Obviously, I oversee it, but in terms of my day-to-day operations, I don't do a whole lot in the fitness business. And I shifted 100% or more or less of basically 100% of my attention towards the Next Level Coaching Academy. Here's what happened in quarter four. Our monthly income 3x'd in quarter four. So it basically, the average that we were doing monthly for the first 9 months of 2020 tripled in quarter four between October, November, and then December was actually the biggest month for the Next Level Coaching Academy out of the whole entire year. And what I attribute this to is the power of one, is the power of focusing on just one particular thing and giving that your 100% attention and effort, right? And I think, as I mentioned before, a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with this because we love creating things and we love the newness of things. We love when things are new. We hate when things are boring. But I can promise you it's the boring things that are going to get you the results, and it's the fundamentals that are going to get you the results, and it's focusing on one particular thing and doing that one thing really, 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 really well that is going to get you the results that you're looking for. It's not doing a bajillion things. And I love Grant Cardone, but he definitely got me into that mindset of I need to do all the things. I need to do this and this and this and this, which is great because it got me to point A to point B. It got me, doing more does yield a result, but then there comes a point where you can't do anymore and you're going to basically hit your head against the wall every single time. And you have to pick one of those things to devote all your attention to. And then that thing skyrockets. Well, at least that was the experience for me. All right. So the power of one is point number 4. Let's get into point number 5. So point number 5 is don't be scared of change. And I can think of 3 things in particular that happened in 2020 that could have provoked me to get really terrified. One is the COVID economy, right? Which I was absolutely terrified about. Like I mentioned earlier on the podcast, I thought my businesses were all going to crumble. I thought I was just going to be broke again. And I was completely terrified. What happened in 2020? I had our businesses rather had our best financial year to date, right? And that's because of the other 4 things that we talked about, but it's also accepting change, right? And this is another thing I wanted to talk about. I was going to save this till the end, but I'll bring it up now because it makes sense, is take ownership even if it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense that I would take ownership of the COVID economy or the fact that COVID is striking the United States, right? It wouldn't make any sense for me to take ownership of that. But I did. I said, hey, I'm going to take ownership. This is my reality. I have 2 choices. I can figure it out and push forward and work really hard, or I can say, it's impossible. This is it for me. It's too hard. I'm just going to give up. And I chose to push forward and I chose to figure it out. And I chose to say, hey, how can I finish this or get out of this better than when I started, right? So don't be afraid of change because really, really, really good things will come from change, especially when you commit to the work and especially when you commit to making it an opportunity rather than something where you're like, ugh, I give up. Right. So COVID economy was 1, business was number 2, right? So predominantly, or actually, sorry, not predominantly, 100% prior to 2020, my income was only my online fitness coaching business. New opportunity came when me and Dayla sat down and started talking about business coaching and the Next Level Coaching Academy, right? And that's a massive change. To go from operating one business to operating two businesses is a huge change. And it's a change that scares many people, right? It's a change where a lot of people may say, hey, I can't handle that, right? But you can't be afraid of change, because not only, are we doing better financially, but we're helping a ton more people. I'm a ton more happier. I absolutely love the Next Level Coaching Academy, and you can't be afraid of taking those opportunities and making that change. All right. And then lastly, in 2020, we moved twice. At the end of 2019, we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment here in Austin, Texas. We moved to a 2-bedroom apartment, literally like 10, 15 minutes away from our 1-bedroom apartment. And I was absolutely petrified. The rent was going to be higher. It was more responsibility. And I was like, can we do this? Can we afford it? Is this going to put us in a hole? And lo and behold, we started doing a lot better because we upgraded our environment, right? We upgraded our environment because of that extra responsibility. It forced us to work, and we ended up doing much, much better in that second apartment. Then at the end of 2020, we moved again to downtown Austin in a skyrise apartment, which is about 3 times the amount that we are paying for the 2-bedroom in the other part of Austin. And same thoughts. Can we do this? Can we afford it? Is this going to put us in a hole? I'm absolutely terrified. And since making the move, same thing. Our life has improved because we've improved our living space, right? But a lot of people are terrified to make those jumps. A lot of people are scared to make those jumps. And I'm not saying I wasn't scared. I was absolutely scared. Every single transitional period in my life, every single time something changes, I'm completely terrified. I'm completely anxious. I'm completely fearful. I'm completely stressed out. But I believe that I can get the job done. So I push forward despite the fear. And the point I'm trying to convey here, guys, is don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of change. Every single time that we've made a significant change, either within the business or within our life, we've always gotten better, right? And the reason we've always gotten better is because that's the perspective, that's the lens that we choose to look for. That's the lens that we choose to look through. We look through the lens of, all right, we're going to make this change. How can I get better as a result of it? All right. So that is the conclusion. Those are the 5 lessons from a business standpoint that I learned in the crazy year that we call 2020. Let's run through them one more time. We have routine is everything. You need great people. Focus on the fundamentals. And then once you get the fundamentals down, it's just, if you want to scale your business, it's just doing more of the fundamentals. Number 4, the power of focusing on one. And number 5, don't be scared of change. Hope you guys find this helpful. If you did, please leave a review. Please leave, I think they call it a ranking. Once again, excuse me, I'm very new to the podcast game. But most importantly, I would love if you just told a friend. If you just told a friend that you think would benefit from this content, that would mean the most to me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys on the next one.